Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 17th, and well, we're going a whole lot of nowhere. And we're not even doing it quickly. We're just going nowhere slowly. Finally, DOC spread develops right here as we get a little bit of weakness as shorts take advantage. Reset in the steel. This time short-term buyers are a little hiatus. We had a little bit of overbought right here. We filled that back in. Oops, clicked too many times there. But still holding well above all the ABMs. Let's put those values up there so you can see them. The yellow at 74, 63 for the white, 66 for the magenta, and so on down the range to the green. Nothing critical. We just first beginnings of a dip below the shakeout here for the first time on a daily. After quite some time, but we're sort of in a stasis pattern. As long as you get that red rising, making new pivots, as well as being above the zero line, not horrible. Likewise, NASDAQ still holding strong with that. A lot of overbought. So when we do get the confirmed sell, it will be significant. Dow was considerably weaker for a lot longer period. So the fact that it's putting in magenta one a little early here as a warning sign to be cautious. The fact that we are making the higher highs on lower shakeout peak is a concern, and the fact that we're coming off the number one here, which is a dip below the red line, means that that is your magnet for retrace before any continuation move. So, USO. Strong move back, takes out the entire dip down from the oversold right here where it got just a little excessively deep in the turnaround and pulling its way right back up. Gold stuck right in the ambivalent zone, and TLT is not going to go anywhere, though potential of oil rising could mean a little bit of strength in economic growth, which would be a nice propelling factor for interest rates, which could have a secondary effect on TLT. We'll keep an eye out for it. We're actually past the zone here. Broke out, and once it did, took all the shorts with it. It was a strong move that broke it out. We've been seeing the rising shakeout pretty steady coming off this number two right there with a little bit of the 50% retrace. And then boom. Actually, we should do that from Fibonacci because then you can see the actual practical application of them. Where you come up, get your run, and then usually you look for right around that 50% retrace of the move. Actually, if we go to the number two, you can see it a little bit clearer there. You get right to where it closed there, dip slightly below, and then boom, takes off. And that's typically how the institutional guys do it. Let me reverse these so it looks right. And then what we do is we go to the little zoom thing and we highlight over it. If I know how to do that correctly, go like this. Boom, and then there it is, zoomed up. Alright, so we can see the 50% line is right here, right at the close there, pivoted right around it. Of course, it went past it. No question about it. This is the problem with Fibonacci's when you're looking at them as these wonderful, creatures. They're not, because at the end of the day, you're in a DOC spread, broke down through it. No guarantee that it was going to hold there, or even down at the 23 until we ended up with the turnaround from the shakeout. That good indication of it was right here with the dip below, the negative 45 here with the extreme histogram. That's usually a bullish move. So that gives you an idea how those runs, and that works the same on indexes, individual stocks, whatever. You can take the up, you look for the 50% retrace of it, and that's usually where you get a nice strong turnaround move. I don't think you're anywhere close to it on this type of a setup here. Let's see. 50% would be a little bit more of a dip than this one did. It got to the 61. Well, again, I drew it backwards. Always something with these Fibonacci's. And, well, if we go to the peak that's over here now, your 50% would be a little bit higher. Of course, that's after the fact. It's not actually what happened. You'd have to take the peak that was right here, which only reached the 38% threshold. And in weakness, I mean, justifiable, it was completely oversold, dipped below the red line, and then boom, buy signal with the MBI signal that you can see on there, which that's the latest add. All that leaves is the GAM to be added to it, and then every single indicator and or I can't even call them oscillators, algorithm that we have is going to be within one program. All these ones are closes above the long algo, which is a measure for the short indication. So when you have these signals, they would not be effective as far as the long goes, but what you would end up doing with them is adjusting your stop. So what we're going to see is the stops and buys come in, and you'll have it up with these target lines, and then as soon as they are hit, the trend line will end. Let's take a look at it on a 5K while we're here, because this is where we ended up with that shakeout signal. This will start to turn it red. You'll get an MBI. No, you won't actually get an MBI. What you'll get is just a marker and a reduction in the stop so that it covers it. Likewise down here, your stop would be lowered, and then it would keep doing so as each of them come in. In this particular case, with this move, once you get down to 80% of the full target, it would have created a profit gain, so the stop. And what I'm going to try and do is have it do it like the ABM does, where the stop will be going and then all of a sudden it'll step down and cut across at a new value, and that should make it visually, or I'll just end this stop and then have a new one generated slightly lower. That's also effective as well. So plenty of different options with that. Let's take a look at some stocks real quick, because there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, Apple we're liking. All the FAS did was retrace exactly what it was doing from before, so it goes up a few, back a few. No significant breakout there. Definitely DOC spread on the weakness, but as long as the shakeout stays rising, it should be okay. Nice one that we've been following from, well, way back, pre-1000 range. Little rise on PCLN. What paint part do we have on? We have buy sell D. We should do buy sell D test 2 on here, just for the heck of it. Let me go ahead and put that on real fast. Alright, through the magic of pause, here we have the test 3, which is the one I'm currently working on. You can see the ones right there as we get it closed. So I don't even have to have the long algo on there. We know where we're above it right here. MBI came in well underneath it. That's going to be a normal feature of the MBIs. They're not going to come in at or near long algo crossovers. That's going to take place after the fact, and that's sort of a normal feature of it. No surprise with that, but you can see the trend change on there, significant. And that'll actually move a little earlier on this, even though we can see that there was a short algo. Now, these numbers will get turned off. These are just the crossovers between the long algo, short algo. They're all going to disappear. So your chart will become very clean. And only if you want to will you need to have the any of the indicators on, because they'll all be incorporated into it within regular stops, targets. And in some cases, the targets are just general because they're going to convert to trailing ABM setups and that as they go. Now, the weakness in Tesla we saw a while back, DOC spread breakout there. Magenta short actually began earlier on it. And also what's going to be nice about this too is all the inputs that are going to be available for adjusting ranges. You can do either ATR with the stops and targets or fixed points. So it's going to provide a lot of neat features. As people say, well, why not just do it in a strategy? Well, going to be in both, because you want to have the ability to put it on like a multi-charts network where trading automation is not necessarily available, but it'll give people the ability to have them on other platforms than just TradeStation, which I know for a lot of people would be a nice thing, because not everybody can use it. They're kind of limited in their access. So, always good. Anyway, I'll be back and forth on the Skype chat as the programming continues, but no question we'll see GAM setups on this one, and then it's just going to be starting to see the changes in the paint color as the configurations change. The colors will start turning green, and it'll start looking a little more choppy. You won't see as much clarity, except for unless you have solid downtrends or solid uptrends, like we had back over here. This was a pretty solid move. It'll start a little earlier. You can see MBIs came in through there, but you didn't have a close above the long algo until right about here at that point. So it's maybe save 5-10 bars in some cases more. So we'll see how it plays out, but I think it should be exciting. I'm hoping even at the end of it, when a target's reached or whatever, that it'll give a count at the end of it. Maybe like put in parentheses plus or minus number of points based on what that trade was. So all good. Anyway, trade well. We will talk again later.